This is Retta from the Livingston County Library. We're going to be making a simple granny square today. This is our sample granny square. We're going to start out with this is a four round granny square. This is a typical, just simple granny square that we do. Nowadays there are several different types and sizes, shapes, you name it, it's out there, so you can always find them on the web, on anything you want to find it, on Pinterest, on just Google it, whatever that might be. But today we're just doing a simple granny square. This is a diagram of the instructions of the simple granny square. And I found this on the web also. And then this one, you can also find the written instructions for that on the web. But I like to do this diagram. It's easier for me to read. The other way might be easier for you to read. These lines with the diagonal through them is a double crochet, and these ovals are a chain, and then the dot is a slip stitch. That's what the thing here is saying. Okay, we're going to start out with the very beginning, the very middle, and it's going to be chain 4, and we're going to slip stitch them together to make a circle, and then we're going to start in with the first round here. Each corner will get a chain 2, but also, even though this diagram only gives you on the sides a single chain, I'm going to be putting 2 chain stitches here on each of the sides instead of the one. So that's what's going to be different on from the diagram to what I'm going to be doing. So, like I said, we're going to start with this center, and you can do any colors you want, any kind of yarn that you want, soft, big, small, whatever, and depending on what you want to use, I just decided to use a big one because I wanted people to see the stitches instead of the smaller stitches. So I wanted them to have a nice example. So that's why I'm using a bigger, I usually, for things that I crochet, I use a 4 or 5 size of crochet hook. Okay, let's get started. And we're going to be doing this middle circle here to begin with, and you can use any way you want to put your yarn on your hook. I do a slip stitch like this. There's many ways of doing that. Okay, put your fingers for your tension, and you're ready. We're holding on to this little small one, and we're going to chain. So we have our loop on our hook, and we're going to chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, chain 4. That's all that is. And then we're going to find the loop for the first, put our needle through, and we're going to grab our yarn and we're going to pull it through that hole. Then we have 2, so we have to get that off there, so we'll slip stitch that right into that hole, that last loop on our hook. So we're going to find the middle of that hole right here, and we're going to hold on to this. It's kind of difficult to hold on to it at first. So for our first one is where we're going right here. So we've done this purple and we've done this little dot here that's joined the chains together. So we're going to start right here with these 3 chains to go up, and this is throughout. When you first start the next row, you always chain 3, and that's counts as your first double crochet. So you're always going to be doing 3 double crochets and then chains. So let's do this first chain up. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to be doing the double crochet right here, So going in the hole of that circle. So we'll bring our hook around. We're going to put our hook through the hole. We're going to grab our yarn, pull it back through the hole, so we have 3. We're going to grab our yarn, pull it through 2, and then we pull it through 2. So that's a double crochet. Let's do another one. Wrap around our yarn, then we're going to go through the hole, get a yarn, come back through. We have 3 loops. Get our yarn, pull it through 2 loops, get our yarn, pull it back through 2 loops. So this makes our first set of double crochets. So you have your chain and your 2 double crochets for your first set. So we're going to do the corner here. So that's chain 1 and chain 2. Okay. All right, we're going to be doing the next crochet. And so we're going in the same hole, and we're going to be doing 3 double crochets. So we'll be right here on our diagram. This is our diagram, and this is those 3 right here. Okay, wrap our yarn, go through, pull, get our yarn, come back through, get our yarn, go through, get our yarn, come back, get our yarn, pull through 2, and then we pull through 2. Get our yarn, go through 2, or through the hole, get our yarn and come back through that hole, and then we take off 2, and we take off 2. We'll do one more, get our yarn, go through the hole, go through and get our yarn, pull it through, and then we get it and we pull it through. So that's our second set. Oh, I did too many. All you have to do, if you have too many, all you have to do is pull it out. So there was 3, I'm sorry. So we're ready for the next. So we chain 2. So we've chained 2. This is the chain 2 part. We do our next set of 3 double crochets. So get our yarn, go through, get our yarn, pull it back through, take off 2, take off 2. get our yarn, go through the hole, get our yarn, come back through, get our yarn, go through 2, and go through 2. Okay, we have to do one more. All right, get our yarn, go through the hole, get our yarn, come back through the hole. We have 3 on there, and go through 2, and go through 2. So there's 3 sets of double crochets. So if we've done 1, 2, 3, now we have to do this 4. So we have to chain 2 and then do our 3. So 1, 2, and double crochets. Done. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of double crochet. That makes our first round. We chain 2 to get us over to this here. Okay, to find the place where we slip stitch it, this is our chain up when we started. This is our first double crochet. So there's a spot right there, that hole. So we go through that hole, and we get the yarn, and then we pull it through, and then we pull it through. That's what a slip stitch is. Okay, that's just joining your row. Okay, we have finished our first round, which is this middle here, which is this blue round here. Okay, so we're going to be cutting that white off, and we're going to start the next round color if that's what you so choose. It is up to you how you want to do your next row of granny square. Typically, usually they change the color for the next row, but you don't have to. Depends on what your end result is going to be. Okay, so the diagram is going to look a little strange because it's going to look like you need to go this way. Well, there's a reason why that. And then the next one, it says, looks like it's going this way. Well, technically, you are always going to go this way. But it's telling you that you're going to turn. So, back to our thing here. Okay, this is, I've tied on to my next color, and so we're going to be doing this 3 chain to start with, and then we'll be going into our double crochets. Okay, so chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, and we had typically, be going, this is the right side, we've been going this way. Well, actually we're going back the opposite direction, so we're going to turn it over. Okay, so, and I want to crochet everything I want to do is in this hole here. I don't want to go into the top rounds. I want to go in a hole. So this first hole here is where I want to go. So I got my 3 chain to start off with that row, and we're going to do 2 double crochets. To make our first set. Now, this is we're starting out to make our corners. So I'm going to chain 2. And then I'm going to, in the same hole, make 3 more double crochets. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay, so you're going to have your chain, your 2 other crochets, and then a chain 2 space, and then 3 double crochets. Okay, now we're going to do the next corner. So we're going in this hole here. So we're going to chain 2 to get over there. And this will create a space for the next round. So we're going to put 3 double crochets. There's 3. And then chain 2. 3 double crochets. Okay, so this is one corner, this is our next corner, and don't forget there's a space right there. That's be for the next round. All right, now we go to the next corner, and it has, we have to chain 2 to get over there. Oops, I lost my. And so the next hole right here is our next corner. So we're going to 3 double crochets. Chain 2, 3 double crochets. So there's 3 corners now. And as you can see, these 2 here are the sides of the square. So we're going to chain 2 again, make another side. Now we come to the next corner. Into that hole, we have 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and 3 double crochets. Okay, we're going to be doing the round 3. So on our thing, and so I've joined the round that I was working on, and we have corners now. We have 4 corners, and our sides are starting. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with our chain up. 1, 2, 3. And in doing so, don't forget we have to turn it to do our next row. Okay. So this is the way we was going. We're still going to go the same way, but we're going to turn it and go back the same way we had been. So we've do our chain again. So we're going to put 2 more double crochets. And this is a side, so this is the hole we want to be putting in. So double crochet. So what we're doing is 3 double crochet in that one hole. And then we're going to chain 2. This gets us over to our corner. And in the corners, we will always do the same. On our sides, we'll only do 3, and our corners will do 2 sets of 3. So we're going to double crochet 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and chain 2. Another set of 3 double crochets in the same hole. Which makes our corner. Now, going to our side, 2 chains. Here's a hole for our side, and see, this is our corner here. Corner, corner, side. And we're going to only put 3 in here. So 3, 1, 2, 3, and we chain 2 to make our space for the next round. Get it all tangled up here. And we're at our corner now. So we are going to double crochet 2 sets in that one. There's 1 set, chain 2, and there's our next 2. So, as you can see, just like there, we have sides and our corners. And this is our corners, 2 corners, and then 2 sides. We'll finish this side here when we get around this side of the corner. So every time that you make a row, these you get more of these. So these will be your spaces the next row. Okay, so let's continue on. I'm going to chain 2 to get over to our side and we're going to put 3 in here. That's our side, so we only put 3. Chain 2 to get to our corner. And we're going to put 2 sets in here. There's 3. Chain 2. Do 3 more double crochets. Okay, so there's 3 corners now, and we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do another side. So we're just putting 3 in this one. So, and then chain 2, you're back to our last corner. Okay, and we're going to put 2 sets of double crochets in here. Chain 2, and another set of double crochet. Okay. So we have our 4 corners made, and we're going to chain 2, and we're going to, like before, there's our chain up, and right here is where we want to go to find our slip stitch, not underneath of it, in that hole, like that. Okay, no, we don't want to do that. Sorry, slip stitch it. Okay. Okay, we're ready for the next round, which is 1, 2, 3, the 4th round. Even though our diagram only goes 2, 3, we're going to put another row around. Okay. So I've tied on to our next round, and so we're going to chain up 1, 2, 3, and we're going to turn it again. Okay, this is our side. So now we are going to have on our sides, we have 2 spaces that we have to fill instead of just 1. So we have our first chain makes our first set of double crochets, so we just need to do 2. And chain 2. And we're going to get into our corner here, and like before, we are doing 2 sets of 3s. Chain 2, and another sort of set here. Okay, that makes our side and our first corner. Okay, then remember we have 2 spaces on our sides now. We have to chain over there, so 2 chain, and we're going to do 3 here, because this is a side and this is a side. So 3 here, and this is our corner. So 3. There's 3, chain 2. Okay, so that's our first part of the side, our first side, our corner, and then 2 more makes our next part of our sides. And then this corner over here, and we do exactly like we did before. We chain over, and we put 2 sets of double crochets, 3 double crochets in there. 1 set, chain 2, and okay. All right. Okay, we're going to do the other side, next side now. So we chain 2. We're just putting 3 in each one of these. Oops, I got too many. There it goes. There we go. There's our first set, chain 2, and our next set. Okay. Now we're at our corner. And okay. Corner, corner, corner. And these are your side and your sides. So see, you put a set of 3 here, set of 3 here, and then on each corner you have 2 sets of 3. It makes it flat that way. Okay, so we're back to our another side. So we're going to chain 2 and continue on for our another side. Okay. And now we're on our corner again. Chain. Now we're at the last part of our side, so we're going to do 3 here like we normally would do, like that, and chain 2 to get over to the next. And so we're going to find this, our chain up our first of the thing, and then we're going to find that hole there. See that hole? I'm doing it in that hole and pulling it through here. Now, to tie off, you just do this and you pull it through. Like that. At least that's how I tie it off. Okay? Now, when it comes time to hide your little ends and stuff, I sometimes get a smaller hook than the one I always be using. Doesn't make any difference what size it is, just you get a different hook. And I wiggle myself underneath all of those stitches and get the yarn and do your best to pull it through. It's not always easy. Let's see. And then you just kind of pull it. You might have to trim it a little bit, but that's fine. And then we're going to do, okay, now the middle is a little different. Still go underneath all those, but I just go around and around and around. And at some point you can trim that off. You pull and then straighten it out and trim that off right there. Okay, here's another one. Oh, that one's that. Straggler. You have to be careful. I pulled that one out of the other side where it was at, so I pulled it through. Okay, so you just have to do that. Now, there's the other trick is you can take a needle. This is a needle that's pretty dull. And you can weave. And depending on what kind of a project you do, is how you weave it. Get it down there like this, and then start weaving it in to your project. And that will hide your ends right underneath of the stitches. And so see, you can only see that. Okay, so then when it comes to, at some point you're going to have to put these together. You can get several, and however you want to do it, whatever design that you want is what you make of it. Then you can take these little pins. These are plastic safety pin type things. You can get them on the internet if it doesn't come with a kit that you've bought. And you just safety pin them together, and that way it kind of keeps the idea of how you've mapped it out, and it puts it together in a nice, and then you'll be ready to go like this and either single crochet it, or you can whip stitch that together however you decide to join each of them together.